Self-development with tactics.
The 53rd one. Everything has two handles, one by which it may be borne, another by which it cannot. If your brother acts unjustly, do not lay hold on the affair by the handle of his injustice, for by that it cannot be borne, but rather by the opposite, that he is your brother, that he was brought up with you, and thus you will lay hold on it as it is to be borne. But born with an E, so born-y, I guess? I'm not quite sure. Might actually only be kind of the old way to write it, and probably also is. The 54th one. These reasonings have no logical connection. I am richer than you, therefore I am your superior. I am more eloquent than you, therefore I am your superior. The true logical connection is rather this: I am richer than you, therefore my possessions must exceed yours. I am more eloquent than you, therefore my style must surpass yours. But you, after all, consist neither in property nor in style. Well, this is actually a pretty interesting and good point, because we do often see that, or one often sees that somebody is not necessarily better than somebody else, but is still the boss. Just because he built the company, or he once did everything on himself, and so on and so forth. But in the end, I would say that the boss is never going to be better at everything than anyone in the company. Of course, I mean, you are going to have an accountant because you can't do it on your own. First of all. Second of all, you might just be rich and you have bought the company and you are an entrepreneur and you just don't really give a fuck about anything inside the company, how things work. You might just only be interested in the product this company is producing, and so on and so forth. I mean, there is many ways in which somebody is your boss or is one's boss without actually being anywhere near better than you at what you're doing. But in the end, it is what it is. I would actually kind of like to see that. I'd like to see people that are just really good at what they're doing, and therefore they are in the position in which they are. And it is often also the case that, when you're building something, you probably have to be quite good, and then you can kind of just get more people in. Sometimes it is luck, sometimes yada yada yada. I mean, the variables of life once again. The 55th one. Does anyone bath hastily? Do not say that he does. Do not say that he does it ill, but hastily. Does anyone drink much wine? Do not say that he does ill, but that he drinks a great deal. For unless you perfectly understand his motives, how should you know if he acts ill? Thus, you will not risk yielding to any appearances, but such as you fully comprehend. And I think this is a beautiful way to say, think about your communication. Think about what you say. Think about your beliefs. Think about the things that you know, the things you think you know. I mean, there's so many ways in which people judge others and also themselves without knowing things fully, without having the whole spectrum of thoughts, motives, background knowledge. There are so many things that could lead to somebody doing something, whether it is something illegal or something legal, whether it is something, morally incorrect, whether it is something that just society doesn't like, but isn't at all legal in terms of the law, and so on and so forth. I mean, it is interesting. It really is interesting. And I think it really is important to think about one's thinking and think about one's communication, and really making sure that one communicates in a way that is not going to hurt anybody, also not yourself, and is just plainly objective. It is hard, it really is, and it's never going to be fully objective, because you're always going to have your thoughts, you're always going to have your opinions, you're always going to be you, essentially. And yeah, It just makes sense though. It really does, and it also feels like to be the right thing to do. 56th. I might actually just be really wrong here. What is L? Isn't L 50? Therefore it is 6. I might just be wrong here. XLVM? XLVI. Let's actually look that up. XLVI. Professional coffee machines by XLVI. XVI is 16. Let's have a look. I'm just so bad. Well, L is 50. So XL is 40. So XLVI is 46, isn't it? The 46th one. So I'm sorry for getting that incorrect, but it is what it is, and people might have noticed. Maybe. I'm not quite sure. Never proclaim yourself a philosopher, nor make much talk among the ignorant about your principles, but show them by actions. Thus, at an entertainment, do not discourse how people ought to eat, but eat as you ought. For remember that thus Socrates also universally avoided all ostentation, and when persons came to him and desired to be introduced by him to philosophers, he took them and introduced them. So well did he bear being overlooked. So if ever there should be among the ignorant any discussion of principles, be for the most part silent, for there is great danger in hastily throwing out what is undigested, and if anyone tells you that you know nothing and you are not nettled at it, then you may be sure that you have really entered on your work. For sheep do not hastily throw up the grass to show the shepherds how much they have eaten, but inwardly digesting their food, they produce it outwardly in wool and milk. Thus, therefore, do you not make an exhibition before the ignorant of your principles, but of the actions to which their digestion gives rise. Amazing as well, really amazing as well. I think it is important to just really focus on one's actions. I mean, why would you be doing something or talking about something without ever just doing it? It is dumb, and it is a waste of your time. And you don't have to look cool to other people. No, you don't have to seem to be a certain type of person and so on and so forth. I mean, it's just be you and do things you think are right or know are right, and live your life. Let things be what they are, and so on and so forth. So XLVII, which is the 47th one. When you have learned to nourish your body frugally, do not pique yourself upon it, nor, if you drink water, be saying upon every occasion, I drink water, but first consider how much more frugal are the poor than we, and how much more patient of hardship. If at any time you would inure yourself by exercise to labor and privation, for your own sake and not for the public, do not attempt great feats, but when you are violently thirsty, just rinse your mouth with water and tell nobody. If I'm getting it fully, and I might actually check that because this is very interesting to me, it is about not bragging about things and not doing things for the sole purpose of showing off. Okay, I'm gonna work out because I'm gonna be muscular then, and this is gonna make other people like me more, or girls like me more eventually, and so on and so forth. Like, no. Do it because it is healthy. Do it because you're gonna feel better, and so on. How many are there left, actually? There are a few more left. A few meaning just really not that many. So, XLVII. Is this actually kind of a translation by George Long? Is this like real of a translation? What is the translation that we are going through actually? Because I don't know. Open source. No, this is not what I'm looking for. Fine Reader Internet Archive. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but when at a small cost you are supplied with everything for the body, do not be proud of this, nor if you drink water, say on every occasion, I drink water. But consider first how much more frugal the poor are than we, and how much more enduring of labor. And if you ever wish to exercise yourself in labor and endurance, do it for yourself and not for others. Do not embrace status, but if you are very, very thirsty, take a draught of cold water and spit it out and tell no man. But why would you spit it out if you're so thirsty? Everything has two handles, the one by which it may be borne, the other by which it may not. If your brother acts unjustly, do not lay hold of the act by that handle wherein he acts unjustly, for this is the handle which cannot be borne. But lay hold of the other, that he is your brother, that he was nurtured with you, and you will lay hold of the thing by that handle by which it can be borne. But I do wonder, carry, bring, transport. So it's bear. So borny, bear? I'm not quite sure, but what I'm sure of is that I'm going to end the episode there. Gonna see you soon. Bye bye.